since July of 2021, 11 cross-chain bridge attacks have occurred involving more than $2 billion. And according to Chainalysis, in August of 2022, this was right after a hack, attacks on bridges account for 69% of total funds stolen in 2022. So my question to the panel is, why do you think these hacks happen?
Yeah, I think if you look at it, perhaps the most egregious one was like Ronin. That was an attack on the multi-sig itself. I think the structure of at least that generation of bridges leaves a lot to be desired. Like, they don't really think about risk. Like, one of the things we think about is, at least at Flare, is we think about how do you manage these things? We'll come on to some of those risk questions later, especially when it comes to things like reorganization risk. I guess we're proposing a bridge structure that's a bit different. Existing bridges essentially allow all of the funds to move in essentially one time step. We think that's probably, at least given the current technical capabilities, probably ill-advised. We have a totally different structure that essentially, you can't get rid of code risk, right? You still have to create code, and you have to have best practices there, and maybe there's discussions to be had about how you should do it, when you should integrate the auditor in the actual development cycle. Should it really be just a couple of weeks at the end of the development cycle? Probably not. But then there's a question of like, how do you structure a bridge to minimize risk, and how do you abstract out essentially the risks inherent in bridging? And that's what we're trying to do.
So how do you think that could be some of the ways that we can actually prevent these hacks even further?
It's a very hard challenge. The way we think about it is we restrict what can flow across the bridge in a single time step, and we collateralize that. Essentially, that means that if there is malfeasance, if those entities that are operating the bridge do steal the funds or maybe even don't make the transaction, you get your money back and you get it back quickly. One of the advantages our approach has is if you're waiting for a blockchain to confirm your transaction that you're trying to bridge, and let's say you do want to handle reorganization risk, which is Vitalik's biggest issue with cross-chain bridging, then you need to wait an awfully long time. In this ecosystem, that's not highly desirable. Most bridging is yield chasing, or trying to find essentially some opportunity somewhere. You want to be able to bridge very quickly. Having available collateral where someone else is essentially taking the risk of the bridging means that you can move very fast, but you're paying them essentially the insurance premium to cover your risks.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.